Yeah, ever. This is one of the biggest fights ever. And obviously I'm honored to be promoting, but yes.
We have a massive fight, literally, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. A massive fight that only this guy could make happen. This man right here is the only guy that could make a fight like this happen.
As we kick off after the clash between the Canelo versus Crawford fight and the UFC major event, Dana White confidently confirmed that he is still promoting the Canelo versus Crawford fight with the same energy. He stated that the production, PR, and overall presentation will be handled just like a UFC event.
When they say we're promoting it, I'm doing the promotion, we're doing the production, the event ops, PR, I mean everything to do with the fight, just like a UFC fight.
Despite the conflict, he added, the event will be fantastic, as it has been in the past. Dana added that the organization has a particular place in its heart for UFC Noche. It's how they and their followers commemorate Mexican Independence Day each year,
while at the same time promoting UFC Noche. So it'll all be the same weekend. It's a badass weekend of fights.
After the challenge last year, I guess you want another big challenge for Noche, right? For the Mexican Independence Weekend?
Well, Noche is going to be a special event every year for us to celebrate Mexico and Mexican Independence Day. And yeah, it's going to be big from here on out forever.
Additionally, Dana stated that it is an honor for him to promote the Canelo versus Crawford bout. As September approaches, he said he is looking forward to training with both combatants. They are two of the best in the sport, he said, acknowledging their talent.
What was your first talk when Turkey offered you, like, can you promote, do you want to promote Canelo? Like, I know you've been watching his fights, you coming to his fights in Vegas for a while.
Yeah, like I said, it's an absolute honor, and you know, Canelo and Crawford have both been great about this too, and I look forward to working with these guys from now till September, so it's going to be fun.
Most importantly, the highly anticipated Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford super fight has now been rescheduled to Saturday, September 13th, 2025. The change from Friday was made to avoid clashing with the college football season and boost viewership. Originally set for Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, the timing change has led organizers to explore other major cities like Los Angeles and New York. The final venue is still undecided as they aim to maximize attention for this major boxing event. Tensions in the fight world are heightened by the startling fact that the rescheduled Canelo versus Crawford bout now conflicts with UFC Noche, a significant event held under the TKO banner. The effects of two significant events occurring at the same time are being discussed by viewers and commentators. Both promotions maintain their confidence in spite of the overlap, which reflects the increasing level of competition in combat sports. What's more, as we already know, Dana White, the longtime president of the UFC, partnered with Saudi Arabia's Turki Al Sheikh to launch a new boxing league under the TKO brand.
What's up, guys? We have just done a deal to start a new boxing league with Turkey, who absolutely loves the sport of boxing.
I am very happy today. I give the flag of boxing to the best man who can handle it.
By implementing a centralized championship framework akin to the UFC model, where the top fighters are routinely paired against one another without the hassle of many sanctioning bodies, the project sought to transform the professional boxing scene. Furthermore, Dana was enthusiastic about the endeavor and its possible influence after unveiling the new league. He acknowledged that Turkey's steadfast love of sports was a major factor in the league's creation. Their combined vision has created the groundwork for something genuinely revolutionary in the sports industry.
I'm excited. You know, I wouldn't be where I am today without boxing. The sport of boxing is where I started. I felt like it was something that could never be fixed until this guy showed up. He has done more for boxing than any promoter in the history of the sport combined. He has invested more money, more energy, and more passion into this sport than literally ever. So for me to be, I didn't know what to think when we first met. He and I have become very close friends in a very short amount of time, and there aren't a lot of people that I would do a deal like this with.
Turki Al Sheikh also emphasized the value of solid alliances and recognized their critical role in the post-announcement interview. Additionally, Turki commended Dana, saying that when starting a significant new boxing enterprise, there is no better option.
First of all, he's not the only CEO now for UFC, he's the CEO of the new company also. Second, I cannot do anything without the support of my crown prince. First of all, the king, God bless him, and the Crown Prince, our leader. He supports us in everything. We have, if you want to fix boxing or any sport or doing some big project like this, we will not have any options better than Dana White.
The league offered cutting-edge training at UFC Performance Institute locations and aimed to sign more than 150 fighters worldwide. The TKO Boxing League has big plans to change the sport by holding big fights at famous venues and ushering in a new era of boxing. The TKO Boxing League's debut has excited Eddie Hearn, who emphasized that it demonstrates the sport's genuine worth. He admitted that although boxing has seen its ups and downs, it is still very much in good shape. Hearn is confident that the sport will advance and reach new heights with the launch of this league.
I think it's very exciting. I think that any time that someone like Dana White and TKO want to move into the sport, or the sport that you're operating in, it shows you where the sport's at. And I think I disagree with Dana and Turkey that boxing's broken. I think actually boxing's in a great place. It's always been in a great place, but it has peaks and troughs. Boxing's always been hot, but His Excellency's come in, shaking it up and made it much hotter. There's another level I think we can go with. Does that come from a team, a league structure? Maybe. Look, TKO have got the ESPN contract from Top Rank, it looks like.
Furthermore, Hearn added that although the one belt concept has been proposed many times before, he is optimistic that it would eventually be implemented given the TKO Boxing League's financial clout. He thinks that this new framework can help bring the sport together and get rid of the uncertainty caused by several titles.
From Dana's comments, that seems to be the way that it goes. I think this has been talked about for a long time. Like, one belt in boxing, etc., is not really revolutionary. It's been discussed many times. To be fair, there hasn't been the financial firepower that we're seeing now to potentially make that happen. I wouldn't underestimate the value of the World Championship belt, the 4 belts, to a fighter. The legacy, the history that comes with it, and the fact that their heroes had those belts around their waist.
Frank Warren also shared Eddie's optimistic comments, saying that the TKO Boxing League is a great addition to the sport. He highlighted the advantages it offers for boxing and the American combat scene.
It's going to be interesting, isn't it? It's a really good situation. Obviously, it's focusing on the American market, and we'll see what happens.
Do you say it's a good thing because anytime there's investment, it's a positive for boxing?
I think that's always a positive for boxing. I really do. I believe that, and I've always been a supporter of anybody investing into boxing. We're very, I don't want to see the sport dwindle. I want to see it grow. It needs, in America, I think it needs a kick up the backside.
Beyond the ongoing tension, many professionals have shared their opinions, calling the fight between Canelo and Crawford a true clash of boxing elites. Stephen Edwards, when weighing in on the Canelo versus Crawford fight, expressed his preference for Crawford. He noted that Crawford is putting on more weight in order to take on Canelo, which gives the fight a fascinating factor. Edwards thinks Crawford would benefit from this decision, which would demonstrate his capacity to contend with a more formidable foe.
I like Crawford in the fight.
Okay.
I do.
Why so?
I just think that there's certain kind of guys you can move up and fight, and there's certain kind of guys you can't move up and fight. And a guy like Canelo, like if Crawford was fighting Benavidez, I wouldn't pick him. You know what I mean? It's the downhill pressure, it's the size, it's the hand speed, it's the relentlessness of having to push that big body off you all night. I wouldn't pick him.
Edwards also acknowledged Canelo's skill and expertise while underscoring the skills of both boxers. He did, however, make it apparent that although he wasn't opposing Canelo, he thought Crawford's style was the ideal test for him. Crawford's adaptability and strategic style, as Edwards said, might cause Canelo serious issues in the ring.
But Canelo is more methodical, he's smaller, coming from a lower weight division. He slowed down the step. Crawford's longer, he's more agile, he's taller. He has better conditioning, he got better feet. Even though he's older, I think he's fresher. Although, Canelo is a great fighter in my opinion. One of the best super middleweights I've ever seen. One of the best Mexican fighters I've ever seen. I don't really have nothing bad to say about Canelo. I just think that it's the perfect style for Crawford if he was moving up, testing the waters.
Furthermore, regarding the Canelo versus Crawford bout, Dimitri Bivol also expressed his opinion that it would be an extremely intriguing contest. He commended Crawford for having a champion's mindset and said he will fight Canelo to the limit in the ring, putting the Mexican's abilities to the test.
I think Crawford wants this fight a lot. He wants this fight, and I think he will be more active than Canelo's previous opponent, and he has different mentality. He has champion mentality. I think the fight will be much more interesting.
What do you make of the weight in that fight, the weight difference?
I think Crawford will not let Canelo just walking on the ring when he wants, you know, because we could see this fight. Canelo did everything. When he won a rest, he could rest easy, you know, in this fight.
In addition, when comparing the careers of Canelo and Crawford, Oscar De La Hoya said that the fight was a 50-50 matchup. Additionally, he noted that Canelo's performance appeared to be deteriorating, which might make the bout versus Crawford, who has never lost, more difficult.
Canelo's declining. We can see it because Father Time just catches up to you. That's just the name of the game, the nature of the beast, right? Crawford, I mean, he's the same age as well, you know? Different types of lifestyles, different styles. You know, Canelo's getting into some wars now, which kind of like chips away at the block, you know? Do I favor him over Canelo? I don't know. I think it's a 50-50 fight at this point, given where they're at their careers.
He further stated that he slightly favors Canelo in the fight, giving him just a 1% edge due to the difference in weight classes. He acknowledged that while the fight is close, Canelo's experience at higher weight classes could give him a slight advantage.
1%. Last one here.
1%. 1%, I would go with Canelo. Yeah, just because of the weight factor.
There has been a lot of growing tension and beef between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford in recent months. Verbal jabs, public callouts, and rising competitive fire have only intensified the anticipation for their showdown. Terence Crawford has long called for a fight with Canelo, expressing his desire to face the Mexican champion on numerous occasions. For years, he made it clear that stepping into the ring with Canelo was one of his ultimate goals.
What are you going next? We want the Nanchas. Tell him we going for Canelo next. Yes. Let's go. Canelo, come on. You heard it from him. We are ready. Yeah. Hey. Just put me in the game. Just put me in the game. Canelo Crawford, the biggest fight.
In the beginning, when Crawford openly challenged him, Canelo responded in a unique and unexpected manner. Instead of engaging in the usual verbal exchange, he offered a brief and dismissive reply that left fans and media intrigued.
Tonight, Terence Crawford was with Turkey Al-Sheikh at the other event across town. Put out an open challenge to you on the internet with Turkey Al-Sheikh calling you out. What's your response to Terence Crawford's call out tonight?
No comment.
Besides, before the official announcement of the Canelo versus Crawford fight, Canelo was often seen showing less interest in the matchup, focusing more on his scheduled bouts. Instead of immediately discussing a fight with Crawford, he focused on his next bouts, indicating that he had other goals in mind. Prior to his altercation with William Skull, he made it plain.
Like I say, I don't have other fight in the future. I just had my fight with William Skull, and that's it. I focus 100% on that fight. Because, you know, I already been in this position a lot of times. When I have a fight, they always asking me for other fights. So nothing new for me, but you know, I'm focused 100% on the fight in Saturday, and that's it.
But once the fight was officially confirmed, both Canelo and Crawford reacted with confidence, ready to prove themselves on the biggest stage. Crawford reacted to the fight announcement with clear determination, stating that he had always wanted to share the ring with Canelo. He saw this matchup as a turning point in his career that had been building for years. He assured everyone that the world would witness his exact strategy for defeating Canelo on fight night.
What do you want next? It seems like that's going to be the fight. Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez, the biggest fight in boxing.
Well, Canelo's the face of boxing. He's the best fighter for Terence Crawford out there. He's the biggest fight for Terence Crawford out there, so that's why Terence Crawford want to take the opportunity to share a ring with another great.
How do you beat him?
UFC, come 12.
Everyone's talking about the weight differences. What's your kind of response to that, Terence?
That's why we fight the fight. So September 12th, we all gonna see if the weight gonna make a difference or not.
On the other hand, initially hesitant about taking the fight, Canelo admitted that the growing hype and demand surrounding the matchup played a major role in changing his decision. He realized the importance of the fight and the enthusiasm it inspired in the crowd. After a while, Canelo accepted the offer and showed sincere excitement about facing Crawford in the ring.
Two-time undisputed champion Bud Crawford, how are you feeling about that fight?
No, I feel great. You know, Crawford is one of the best out there, and you know, I like to share the ring with that kind of fighters, and it's my pleasure.
You changed your tune on wanting this fight over the years. Originally, you didn't want it. Why is now the right time for this fight?
You know, everybody is asking for the fight. My Nino Turki Al-Sheikh won it, so that's why we are here.
Additionally, after his contest with William Skull, Terence Crawford criticized Canelo, questioning the purpose of the fight. He noted that Skull was performing admirably in the beginning, successfully countering Canelo's strength and mobility. Crawford raised concerns about the competitiveness of the battle, pointing out that Skull abruptly stopped applying pressure.
What did you make of, I know you didn't say much on tonight, the effectiveness of William Skull? He came to go to decision as opposed to win the fight. Would you agree with that?
I don't know. He was boxing well, and then he just stopped doing what he was doing earlier. I don't know. I can't call it.
Do you think Canelo slipped as a fighter?
No, I don't. I just think that, you know, William was doing a good job neutralizing Canelo power punches. He was just moving a lot.
Canelo responded to Terence's criticism of his performance against Skull by issuing a caution of his own. When they face each other in the ring, he warned Crawford not to follow Skull's cautious approach. Canelo made it obvious that anyone attempting to avoid him would be overpowered very fast.
That's a mediocre mind. That's a mediocre mind because they come just to survive, to go to the 12th round. That's a mediocre mind. You need to put a good fight there and put great show. You know what I mean?
Do you think Crawford will employ the same tactics to try and box?
I hope not. I hope not, because the people deserve a good fight.
What do you make of the Crawford fight next?
Huh?
How excited are you for the Crawford fight?
I'm excited. I'm gonna enjoy this win, and then.
In addition, Crawford also posted a video of Mexican supporters cheering him on, indicating a change in sentiment before the Canelo bout. In order to increase psychological pressure, he sought to draw attention to a potential waning of Canelo's domestic support. Furthermore, Canelo is training intensely, focusing on strength, speed, and precision to maintain his championship form. He's working closely with his team to fine-tune strategy and conditioning for the high-stakes matchup. However, Crawford is also pushing his limits in camp, sharpening his timing, footwork, and counterpunching. With full focus on Canelo, he's determined to prove himself against one of boxing's elites.
Two. We in here getting in. Let's get ready. What we doing, man?
We running the court. They got a bomb squad.
And they still lost.
Look, Trey on that thing.
Hey, I'm getting ready for you, nephew.
With two pound-for-pound greats set to collide, the Canelo vs. Crawford clash promises to be one of boxing's biggest showdowns. Both fighters bring elite skill, experience, and fan bases into the ring. Who do you think will prevail in this epic battle? Canelo's power or Crawford's precision?